Hi everybody, how are you doing today? Hope you are all well and safe. Thanks for joining me in my studio. A few people have been asking me if I would look at iPastel. Never heard of it before. I was intrigued. It's on the iPad. This is a drawing I did of a little country lane using the app. But did I like it? Let's find out. Right, so this is iPastel. I've had a quick look at it before I started. First thing I would say is that the interface looks really old-fashioned. It's very 1980s even, and its look. So not overly fond of that. I want to show you the layers menu, which is one of the three menus across the top. I'm not going to go through all the menu options. This is just a quick overview, just to show you what you can do with it. And it's not that I want to create a layer or anything. And I didn't see any way, if I do create a layer, you've got multiply layers or anything like that. But it's the paper thing I'm interested, where I might want to change the colour. So I think the original colour is this one. That's the default paper colour. And I quite like this earth yellow. But there's a lot more to choose from. But you need to upgrade to the Pro version, and this is the free version. So everything I'm doing today we can do for free. The other thing I want to show you is the texture options of the paper. You've only got one paper to choose from that I can see, and if I put this visibility slider up, it increases the texture of the paper, but it's a flat texture. It hasn't got any sort of 3D look to it, and it looks quite little bit naff really, I guess, but let's see what it looks like when we start painting. I'm going to paint this country lane, so the colours I'm thinking I might go with this one just to start putting in some blue, and I can adjust the size fairly easy to make smaller strokes. One thing I have to say is that I couldn't find any way to select colour off the canvas, so I'm going to have to choose colours from these colour palettes, which that's quite a pastel type thing to do. Straight away they look like as you build up the colour, you're starting to blend those colours together. What do we think to that paper texture? I'm not overly convinced. Put really light pressure on. I may have to go to the colour picker to choose some lighter colours. If I go to where did I see it? If I click on the actual colour picker, I can choose colours from basic, essential and encyclopedia. So basic's just a few colours, but if we go to encyclopedia, we get like all of the colours that you would expect in a spectrum or a rainbow. So if I look at the reds, we've got all of these colours, and they're given names like we've got alizarin crimson here, vermilion. That's a colour that you could buy in paint. Alizarin crimson. There we go. And that to me doesn't look particularly like alizarin crimson. So although they've got these nice name colours for your paints or your pastels, which looks great, and I suppose you would get used to the colours, because every brand, if you buy conventional paints, they are slightly different. This is a nice way of setting out the colours, and they've got them arranged into warm, neutral, cold, which is great. You know, if you're setting out and you're not really sure, you know, what's what, and you're looking for some guidance, you've got that here. So that's really cool. So I'm going to pick a, let's go for, I want a blue actually. Let's go for an azure. And if I decide to go for a lighter tint, I can click on that and drag that colour and add it to a palette. Or I could when I was tried it earlier. There we go. So I've got some lighter versions of it, and I can use those. I want a bigger pencil actually, or a bigger pastel. And you've got an array ranging from light to darker colours. So that's quite cool. And I can blend those colours as well, because I've got a tool that looks like a finger, and I can either use my stylus or actually use my finger. The finger looks a bit severe, doesn't it? I wonder if it's because I've got too much force on it. That worked earlier for me as well, but that's not working so well now. It appears to be a little bit clunky. Oh dear. And I can't redo. It won't let me redo that. Let's just get the colour back in. So that blender works all right. Right, let's try a brown. You've only got one pastel though. You've only got one. Well, that's not strictly true. You've got a pencil type pastel and an oil pastel, which is quite thick. But you haven't got a range of pastels. You know, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I quite often only work with one brush anyway, a lot of the time. And if you use the side of the pencil, you get thicker paint. That's cool. Let's put something in for the grass down here. Sort of a blue-grey. Now I can't pick that colour off the canvas, so I've got to try and remember where it was. So what are my thoughts as I'm working through this? When I'm sort of comparing it to other apps, sort of mentally as I'm going through it, I'm thinking, well, you know, there's nothing here so far that would make me want to use this instead of, say, not Artrage. Well, yeah, Artrage, or Procreate. It's feeling clunky. does it look like a pastel? It looks... I'm liking the effects I'm getting. Another thing I notice, as I start to build up the pastels, they start to, you lose that graininess, and they start to work more like you've just absolutely clogged up the paper, which is kind of, you know, how it would be in real life, but you know, that's not necessarily a good thing in this case. There we go. I do like having an array of colours. I presume you can add more. I'm going to flip between the pastel pencil so I can do some finer strokes. Oh, dropped my pencil. That's not cool. Let's try that. So we've got like the smudge with the finger, and then this with a cotton bud. Get that vertical in there. I'll stick with these brownie reds. Let's get some of these branches in. It doesn't feel particularly like pastel. It does respond well though with pressure to get nice darks and then lights. Let's change. Oh, one feature I've got to show you. If I choose the colour, it says complement up here, and I click on that, and it just changes the colour to the complementary colour. So you know, you can sort of make things pop a little bit by choosing a complementary colour to and back again. There we go. There we go. I want to put this sort of these two ash trees in. We've got one there, and then we've got one sort of there like that. Branches and that, I'm now making them up as I go along. I'm not let's make the brush a bit bigger. Different browns, I think, maybe, just to mix it up a bit. Oh, can I recover that? Let's choose a light colour for these. Oh, there we go. There's a little bit of lag going off, I have to say, which is quite frustrating. Oh, let's choose the... Oh, I'm working with the pencil. I'm just going to put the telegraph line in. Got this other little tree here. I need to be not quite as dark, a bit grayer. There we are, that's it. Let's get that to that complementary colour. There we go. There we go. Now we've got this wall. Go back to the pastel brush. Bit of mossy colour. That, I was just wondering what that is there. Back to my pencil. dark red, and what I want to do now is just sort of scribble in I might come down with some blue. Bit darker than that. It's amazing, you pick a colour that you think's quite dark on the palette, and then you put it on the paper and it's not at all. It's really quite vibrant. Maybe I need to be down in this sort of colour range. A bit greyer. There we go. That's it. So I'm using the pastel pencil. The light's catching the edge of that tree there like that, and maybe a branch down there. Yeah, I like that. I like it. We just let's do some detail in the wall then. Here we go. So I don't normally work with really sort of thin lines in pastels, but I'm thinking if I put some sort of this brickwork in like this, and then use that smudge thing, I can blend that all out like that. There we go, like that. Yeah, so I can smudge the oh, it's a bit too much. Let's just undo that. I pretty much just stuck with these colours at the top quite a bit. That's looking like a wall, I think. A few more twigs. I don't know about the paper effect. It's looking a bit like it's snowing. Make that a bit smaller. Oh, one thing I should have said, I can move the palette. If I can find somewhere to do it. I could earlier. There we go. You can move it across and move it back again. I would probably, being left-handed, I'd probably work with it on this side, and then I could select the colours with my fingers, I guess. So that might be an idea. What brush have I got? Oh, that was interesting. I must have changed the size quite considerably. What we got now? What's happening? Seems to be darkening the whole thing. Oh, so that's the force. That's the size. Was that how it was on the other side? Force. So the size is on the left, and when I move it across, the size is on the right. It mirrors it. That's confusing. I don't know if there's a logic to that or not. Don't like that colour. Get rid of that. Do I put this other tree in there? Tempted to. Just sort of missed a little thing. I missed a little tree. Just in the background there. Then I can choose the pencil. Just strengthening them up a little bit. There we go. Right, let's think about the path. So I've got, I ought to stick with these sort of really nice warm colours that I'm using. My fence is way further back. The pastel. Now that to me looks a little bit boring because I've just got the one colour in. So if I mix it up a bit, and let's try and get some more colours in there. There we go. Some dark browns. There we go. And then I want a blue-grey. That might be the nice one there. Just to get a shadow across the path. Maybe a bit more purple, perhaps. Bring it into the grasses as well. I've got to be careful because I don't want to lose the fact that that path is flat, and it was looking as though it was sloping because of the way I was doing the strokes. Nearly. Oh, I've selected the eraser. Let's go back to the pastel. Try again. A bit more force on it actually. And a bit lighter. Let's choose the pencil. And then kind of like that, but not. Let's just undo that a bit. That's better. Yeah, now I need to go to some yellows. Just pick them out where the light is coming along the path, look, and then catching the side of the edge and also the top of the edge. Maybe the top of the edge would be even lighter still. Like that. And this, I suppose the tree is the focal point, so I need the lightest lights over here just to make this tree pop out a little bit. There we go. And maybe even, you know, the top of this wall, just give that the slightest highlight as well. And a few, I think a little bit of grass detail wouldn't go amiss, maybe just down here a bit. Not so yellow though, that's not quite working. Let's go with a green, maybe a little bit lighter perhaps. It just sort of takes you up to that tree a little bit, maybe. I think it's in the wrong place. Let's try it here. I could try smudging the bottom of it a little bit. Blending that away. Yeah, that's it. Get it signed, I think, Steve. That's it, guys. Trying out iPastel on the iPad. What did I think to it? I think the end result looks all right. I think I struggled with it. It didn't feel natural. I think if I zoom in, the pastel effects are not as good as pastel effects in, say, Procreate, Artrage, Art Studio Pro. But it's only $4.45. But then again, Procreate's not very expensive, is it? If you've got Procreate, I wouldn't rush out to buy this. But if you're really into pastels and you want to learn a little bit more about colours and warm colours and cool colours, you might want to have a look at this because of this colour encyclopedia where it arranges the colours for you like that. But I mean, this is the free version, of course, and you can do a lot with the free version. I know you can actually export the image. So how do I do that? Everything's changed. Everything's swapped over. I don't like this mirroring. That's really weird. I can share and export. Do I have to hold that? Hold it down, do I? I know I can do it because I did it yesterday. There we go. Share and export it as a PNG. So, and that's a fairly decent size image actually. 3072 pixels by 4096. So, not bad for free. I don't know as if I'd buy it, but the free version, yeah, it's all right. I think it's all right, but not the best pastel engine out there. And if you go onto the PC and look at Critter, which is free, it would blow this out of the water, to be honest. So anyway, there you go. Hope you have found this video useful. If you have, a big thumbs up as always is much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Don't forget, everybody, keep painting, stay safe and stay sane, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.